If you like the capabilities of an off-road vehicle but really don't want to go with a big and bulky SUV, the Subaru Outback might be a clear choice for you because it combines the best of both worlds. The functionality of a station wagon with the capabilities of an off-road vehicle. So today what I have for you, thanks to Conley Subaru of Bradenton, Florida, is a 2023 Subaru Outback XT Touring, and I'm going to take you on a complete tour of this vehicle and review it for you. At the end of this video, I'm going to take you for a spin in it. So if you like watching videos like this, guys, my name is Matt, and here on Matt the Car Guy, I post 2 car reviews every single week. So if automotive content is something you enjoy watching, go ahead, check out the rest of my channel, consider subscribing. Now let's get back to this. Well, for decades now, the Subaru Outback and the Subaru Forester have been the icons in the Subaru lineup, and for a reason. I mean, they've been known for their functionality, reliability, and longevity. I mean, there's people that are holding on to their Subarus for 10, 20 years, and they're still on the road, they're still driving, and they're still great vehicles. So for 2023, Subaru decided to give a little bit of a facelift for this Outback model. But let's check this out. Starting right here on the hood, it's nice. It does have this 2 grooves for better aerodynamics, creating this a little bit of a bulge right in the middle of this vehicle. Now the lights have been updated. They're a little bit different. They're also LED lights, and on this XT Touring model, we have this steering responsive lights that kind of turn with the steering wheel, help you light up the direction where you're going to be going. And the LED daytime running lights and then incandescent turn signals, that's all part of this package right here. Now it also has the LED fog lights that are nicely encapsulated with this trim, kind of rugged trim, and I kind of wish that this was open for that better airflow, but this is only a trim piece. Now the grille is a little bit bigger than it was on the previous year model. It still has this large Subaru logo right in the middle, and down at the bottom of this front bumper you have this polished aluminum looking like simulated skid plate for a little bit more rugged look. Now, if you were wondering what powers up this thing, let's pop the hood and find out. Well, if you look at this engine and you think that it looks different than on some of the other vehicles, and that's because it does, because this is a 4-cylinder, turbocharged and intercooled, flat 4, aluminum block and heads, direct fuel injections. As far as the performance on it, 260 horsepower, 277 pound-feet of torque. So on that top of the line trim, you do get this bigger and more powerful engine. Actually, it's smaller and more powerful engine than the 2.5 naturally aspirated that you'll find with some of the lower trim levels. Now it is mated to a CVT transmission with 8 simulated gears, so we're going to check that out, how it drives. I heard that's pretty good. I'm not going to judge it until I actually drive this vehicle with you. So it does have some extra cooling over here for the turbos, as you can see, and overall this engine compartment looks pretty cool, right? So the one thing that I don't like is this prop stick over here. I think the hood struts would really work much better in here. You do have some sound insulation underneath this hood, and the power, by the way, gets delivered to all 4 wheels if needed. Now this, all Subarus with the exception of the BRZ, actually come standard with the symmetrical all-wheel drive system. When you look at the side of this vehicle, a couple of numbers that are important. First of all, the length of this vehicle, the total length is 191 inches long, and that's about the same as a Honda CR-V or Toyota RAV4, just for a point of reference. But also what's more important is the ground clearance, and that's 8.7 inches, and that makes it taller than some of the other smaller SUVs. It also makes this vehicle capable of going off-road. Now, of course, you won't find it competing against the Jeep Wranglers or Ford Broncos on the Moab trails or somewhere on the Rubicon Trail, but if you do have a favorite camping spot that you need to take a gravel road to it, this one is more than capable to do so. Now, to further accentuate the ruggedness of the brand, Subaru has this black cladding, matte black cladding that goes around the wheels as well as at the bottom of these doors, and you have the Outback that's spelled out at the bottom of the rear door. Now, this is a luxury trim, so the highest trim model, so it does have a little bit of bling, so it does have this chrome surrounding of the windows, it does have the polished aluminum cap on the door. You have the LED blinker right here, and then you do have blind spot assist. Also, this vehicle is equipped with the automatic smart entry system. As you can see, I just locked this vehicle, so the mirrors folded in. In order to unlock it, I simply stick my hand inside of the door handle. Of course, I have to have the key on me in order for it to work. Now, as far as the wheel and tire setup, okay, so what you have here is an 18-inch wheels, kind of like the designs, nothing too crazy. 225 by 60 Yokohama Geolandar all-terrain tires. That's what you get as a standard equipment. And of course, you do have this rugged looking roof rack as well. Now, to make it functional, you will need crossbars to put something on top of that. So station wagon looking like, it does have a lot of room, at least what I think it does. Let's check it out from the back. One of the reasons many people prefer the station wagon to the SUV is the usability of it and the easiness of loading stuff into the cargo space, and which we're going to take a look in just a little bit. But let's take a look at the styling of it. Starting off with the shark fin antenna over here, it does have a built-in camera inside of it, and I'll show you inside what it does. It does have a third brake light over here, exposed wiper, and another camera that is built right here. Subaru logo, you do have the lights over here. It's kind of a combination between the LED and the incandescent one, but it does have all of it in this one unit. So you have the turn signals, brake lights, and the regular tail lights, and reflector lights in, again, this rugged portion of this bottom bumper. So you have the Outback Touring XT on one side, Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive on the other side. The gate is power, so you can open it from your remote or simply by pushing the button on here. And let's check out how much room we have in this cargo space. The gate opens nice and tall, and it does have two buttons on it, one of them to close the gate, the other one to close it and lock it, so you can walk away and the vehicle would lock itself. So what do we have in here? So we have the Harman Kardon stereo, which is the premium stereo on this fancy schmancy trim right here. You also have the releases for the seat backs, because you can extend this cargo room a little bit by basically folding the rear seats, and that's how you do it. It's very easy. Unfortunately, in order to get them back up, you have to go inside and actually fold them up yourself. So it's a one-way operation, if you will. Let's lift up this second floor, if you will, and let's see what we have here. So what we have is we have the tools to remove the tire, and we actually have the spare tire that's underneath here in this tire well. So if you are stranded somewhere in off the beaten path, you at least have the spare tire to change. If you're looking for a spacious vehicle in the back, this definitely can be one of them. I actually have this seat moved back just a little bit more than I normally would be driving it, and I still have enough room in front of my knees. I am 6 feet tall, fitted nicely, have about 3 inches above my head as far as the headroom, and fairly comfortable as far as the shoulder room inside of it. Now, the interior on this premium trim level is premium. Check it out. Starting with the door panel, as always, let's check this out. You can definitely see that this is a premium trim. You have this leather wrapped door panel over here, contrast stitching, nicely padded armrest, and then you have the window controls, you have the door handle in chrome and this black piano trim. A little bit of storage at the bottom of the doors, and then once you clear this bump over here, you can slide your foot comfortably, you can feet comfortably into this the footwell right there. Now, the seats are nice. They're wrapped in this premium leather material. This is that Napa leather. They're solid and perforated in the middles. They have a little bit of a contrast stitching, as you can see down there. And then if you wanted to fold this portion down, you have the armrest with the cup holders. What else is interesting in here is you do have the outward heated seats. So 2 of the 3 seats in the back are actually heated. You also have the USB-C and the USB port, and you have your own vents for the back. Now, you do have 2 pockets in each seats for extra storage, and you do have the regular sunroof, which is probably easier to show it from here than from the front. Let's move there. And as always, let's check the quality of this vehicle by closing its door and listening to it. Boom, and that's nice and solid, no surprise there. Front door panel, same as the back. Again, you do have this leather wrapped panels over here. You have the window mirror lock controls. You do have 2 memory seat settings and the Harman Kardon stereo that's branded over here. A little bit of storage in the bottom of the door. Now let's move on to the interior of it. So the seats are power adjusted, and you have power adjustments on both the driver and the passenger seats. Rather comfortable, a little bit on the sporty side. You can see those taller bolsters over here, and you also have on the driver's side only the manual tight support adjustment, so you can do that, but on the driver's side only. So what else is here? You can open your gate and you can turn off your power gate. Basically, you also have adjustments for the brightness of your instrument cluster, and we're going to check that out next. We're in the interior of this top-of-the-line trim on the 2023 Subaru Outback. So let's check this out. What I like about this, then again, you have this leather-trimmed dashboard over here. This is soft plastic on top. That makes it look better, it feels better. It also kind of, I think, quiets the cabin a little bit more. Although we can still hear that boxer engine, that flat 4 engine that's inside of this vehicle. I just started it off. So what else you have? You have this nice little shelf underneath the dashboard and above your glove box, so you can put your phone in it, and it's rubber lined, so it won't slide. So that's a pretty cool system. You have this 11.6-inch Starlink system. We're going to get to it in just a little bit. And as far as the steering wheel, we've seen the steering wheel pretty much on all of the Subarus. Nicely leather wrapped steering wheel, multifunction. You have the 3 spokes, Subaru logo, and then you have a bunch of buttons on both sides. You also have the pedal shifters in the back. Like I said, it is a CVT transmission, but it does have the simulated pedal shifters or simulated gears that you can change if you'd like to. So what do we have on the left hand side here? Let's check this out. So you have your source, that's for your media basically, and then you can choose your tracks or radio stations. Then you can of course pick up or hang up your phone. You have your mute button as well, your voice control, and then the volume adjustment over here. Now there's a little screen and instrument cluster where we go through it by using this toggle switch basically up and down, and you push it to select it. And on the right hand side you do have the cruise control and the adjustments for the adaptive cruise control. And right at the bottom here you have the button where you can actually turn on your heated steering wheel. We're going to turn that off. I don't need it in the summer, or actually in the winter time in Florida. But as far as the instrument cluster, it is analog. So on the right hand side you have a speedometer, left hand side you have a tachometer, and this little middle screen right there is where you can put on some different information. So right now we have just a standard one. You have the basically speed displayed over there and which gear we're in, and 15 miles on the vehicle, and then we can go down to trip. You can go down to trip 2, time, and that is it. PSI, compass, unnamed road, source of media, and then just a basic hour and temperature, and this is it. The average miles per gallon is 5.7. It's actually more than that. On the sticker it says the average miles per gallon should be at 25, so you do have the 22 and 29. 22 in the city, 29 on the expressway, but this vehicle is brand new. It's been sitting and idling for most of the time, and that's what the adjustments you have in the middle here. Nothing too crazy. What I like about this vehicle is I like this 11.6 inches screen. A lot of people don't like just having the buttons on the screen, so Subaru still made some of the shortcut buttons, and that includes your volume and power button over here. You have the front windshield defogger button, temperature up and down for both passenger and driver. Then you have the rear window defroster, hold and tune button on the other side, and then of course your hazard lights over here. But right in the middle here is all screen. It is touch screen, so let's select the map and let's see how it looks. So navigation is by TomTom. That's what it says right here. That's what Subaru using for their navigation system. It is there. I think it's pretty functional. I like other navigations maybe a little bit more, but this is not bad. You also have the Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, so you can connect your phone with it if you don't like this navigation that's actually built in here. So let's go back in here. Where's the back button? Over there. Okay. This is actually for the top portion of the screen, but we can also go to the home button, which is displayed in the middle of the screen. What else we have? We have the radio, so we're going to check this out. We're not going to play it, but it does have this higher end Harman Kardon stereo, and you have different options as far as the radio input. So you have the FM, AM, and Sirius XM, and of course you can connect your phone to play the media through your phone as well. Go back to your home screen, and you have your phone, which is in this case no connected, not connected right now. We're not going to connect it, but you can connect your phone via Bluetooth. You have the Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. As far as the apps, you can see the Android Auto. You have to connect it over USB or pair it over Bluetooth, so it is wireless Android Auto, which is a nice feature to have. Going back to the main screen, you have My Subaru, which we don't have connection right now. And let's take a look at the different settings that might be available here. So you have the clock, display, Wi-Fi settings, Wi-Fi hotspot, reminder screen, valet mode, meter, screen, camera, that's just settings for the camera, climate control, temperature units, language, let's see what languages it has. 3, English, French, and Spanish. And let's go back. There's had a back button. Car info. So that just gives you, oh, here, this is a pitch and roll. This is for your off-road. Driving statistics, maintenance. So it has the engine oil, when it needs to be changed, maintenance schedule, all that stuff. You can reset it. Driving statistics. Let's see if we have anything else. Right, left, no, nothing. Okay. What does this little car button do? Okay, so that is basically your driver's assistance. So you can select those toggle switches. You have the X mode, which is basically the off-road mode, right? Cruise control, acceleration standard, auto vehicle hold, steering responsive headlights, turn them on, auto start stop feature, you can turn them off. I wonder if it's going to turn back on when you start the vehicle back on, but this is a pretty cool feature if you can just disable it. It's really annoying. So you can turn that on and off here if you'd like to, but let's just do that. Let me turn the vehicle off, get back in, start the car. I'm just curious on that. See, it starts back on. So yeah, this is just for the session, basically, when the vehicle is running. Anyways, at the bottom here, you have your controls for your climate control over here, and that opens it up, and slide it open and adjust your temperature, or you can use those hard buttons over here. You can have different temperatures. It's a dual zone climate control, and you can sync them to be the same. It always syncs to the driver settings, of course. And then you have the different vent settings down here. You have the heated ventilated seats on both driver and passenger sides, and you can adjust your fan speed. And that's basically it. That's the infotainment system. One thing that we need to check is the rear view camera. Here it is. Check surroundings behind you. Put it in reverse. It shows up with the trajectory lines. Active trajectory lines moving right and left. One thing I wish it did, that you have all this real estate. I wish the camera actually took out the entire screen, and then the top end trim, especially at the price point that we're at, I wish it had a 360 as well. So, well, that's fairly disappointing, because even the quality of that camera is not the greatest either. Let's put it back in park, and then we'll switch it over. Down here you have the parking brake, and then you have the USB-C, USB, and the auxiliary mode over here. That's your view for the camera, and I can't see if it does have the wireless charging, but it's not marked anywhere on there. So you have a regular shifter. It's actually pretty nice, pretty good looking, nice to the touch, and then you can also shift it to the manual mode if you'd like to, and then you can go through those simulated gears. Back in park, scrolling down here, you have a cup holders, storage, kind of a shelf on top, and then, wow, you do have a CD player. Who'd know? Okay, one of the few cars still in existence that actually does have a CD player on it. Okay, so up on top over here, you have a mirror with the compass. Okay, it says southeast right now. I'm not sure if you can see it. You can actually flip that switch on, and that turns into the monitor. So that's the top view camera that I showed you in the back of this vehicle. That actually is the rear view mirror, which is really nice. You have the sunglasses holder, sunroof, regular size, okay, and open it up, let some air and light inside of here. or I can close it. And then you do have the LED lights on both sides. Illuminated mirror on the driver and passenger side. So you both can fix your makeup if you'd like to. It looks pretty good. Now, let's see how it drives. But before we do take it on the road, let's check out what trim levels are available for 2023 model year on this Subaru Outback. So we're starting with the base one, starting at 29,620, Premium 31,920, Onyx Edition 34,720, Limited 36,520, Wilderness, which we did last year, 39,670, Limited XT 40,920, Touring is 41,070, and Touring XT, which is the one that I'm sitting in right now, 43,520. The MSRP with destination charge is about 44,400 on this particular one. It's got a few accessories in the back, like the cargo mat, the side protectors, and I'm going to list all of that in the description box of this video. So I think it's a huge range between 29, essentially between 30,000 and 43,000 just for one model. I know Subaru makes only a few models of the vehicles, but this one has a lot of options to choose from. Now this has pretty much everything that you can add to some of the lower trim levels. I think Limited, you can basically make it like this if you wanted to individually spec out the vehicle. However, this one has it all as a standard equipment, so what you see is what you get. But it does have a pretty steep price, $44,000. You don't have a 360, you have a fairly small camera, you do have a CVT transmission. Yeah, I know people don't want the SUVs, but even as far as the gas mileage, it doesn't have the best gas mileage, which it should, considering it's not an SUV, right? And it does have a CVT transmission, and CVT transmission supposedly help you get the better gas mileage. Well, let's see how it drives. First things first, we're gonna check out of how it turns. We have this nicely painted parking spots. Turn the wheel all the way to the left, and let's go. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and just 1/8. So 4 parking spots to turn this vehicle around. That's not a bad thing. Now it sits lower to the ground, even though it has to have a pretty high ground clearance, but the whole vehicle is not as tall as some of the SUVs. So let's maybe check out of how this vehicle handles as far as, you know, the agility of it. It does have a little bit, a slight body roll, but not a whole lot. And let's maybe check out of how it turns over here. So we make a donut over here. Really nice. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with the agility of this vehicle and how it sits on the road. The engine so far proves pretty responsive, you know, as far as the acceleration, so that's a good thing. But we're going to take it on the road and see how it performs. And maybe I'll switch it to this manual gear shift and see if it makes any difference. 260 horsepower. Keep that in mind. That's quite a bit. Let's go. 40, 50, and 60. So it does have a fairly good acceleration for a station wagon, right? So no complaints there. I'll flip it to the manual mode, and once I make this turn, you can see if those gears are actually simulated gears and they're shifting. Now in the gear number 3, okay, 4, let's drop it and accelerate. Okay, well, you know, it's not real gears, but pretty close actually. It doesn't feel like a CVT, like the regular CVT transmission. You know, some people were complaining about this whining noise. I don't hear any of that, so that's actually good, right? Maybe that's on the 2.5 naturally aspirated engine that you have in the lower trims. People were complaining about some noises that the CVT makes. To me, it actually works fine. The gears shift pretty good. The visibility is good. I don't sit on top of the world, so it can fit with all the rest of the vehicles, but high enough not to feel like I'm basically sitting on the floor. But overall, the amenities of this vehicle, pretty decent. You get a lot for the money, but I think you can just get a little bit more. And I know there's going to be people in this video I can already see commenting, well, if you can't see the screen, you need to buy a pair of glasses, or if the camera is not a good quality, you should turn around and look back. Yes, I know that. I know how to drive. I've driven for the last 32 years now, and my first car was a Fiat 126. It was a little 650 cc's vehicle. It didn't have air conditioning. I don't know if it had heat or not, probably did. So I did grow up driving, a very, very basic vehicle, so I know how to drive. However, what I'm saying is that the competition has it, and these little features are made to improve your ride quality and comfort. Yes, sometimes they make you lazy, but that's why you splurge and spend a little bit more money to get the amenities that you want. So that's all I'm saying. Not that it's impossible to drive without it. But, if you talk to a Subaru salesperson, I'm sure they'll tell you, hey, Subaru comes up with the idea that, the less stuff on it, the less things are there to break. And I think they're right, because they're probably the best vehicles as far as the longevity and how many vehicles are still on the road and still driving after years on being in there. And when I was in the car business, we took on trades. Subarus with 200, 300, 400,000 miles, people loved them. They were still in running condition, and there's not a lot of brands that you can tell that about. So definitely, if you're looking for maybe something that's off-road capable, but you don't want to get the traditional SUV, look for Subaru Outback. If you're anywhere in Florida, come and visit Conley Subaru of Bradenton, Florida. They do have other perks that come with purchasing the vehicle from them, like a lifetime warranty, and they also treat you like family. So I'll post a link and the phone number in the description of this video, and if you're interested, give them a call. This particular one is for sale on their lot right now. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you learned something. If you did, don't forget to click that like button, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, there's a little red box. Check out the rest of my channel if you like it. Hit that subscribe and turn on that bell notification button. I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.